weeks ago, but every freaking week I keep thinking, the weather's changing. Meanwhile, just the weekend that just went by. You don't have to answer on here, but is it worth trying to put that? There's a great one in Clifton people talk about where, we just get together, we can social distance and hang out. A lot of us haven't been together in a long time. Or is it too late in the year to try? I'm just worried that I'll try it and it'll be a day that's 42 degrees. Who knew this weekend? So if you have thoughts on that, let me know. I don't know how hard that is to put together. It's probably not really hard to put together. But I've seen a couple of offices in Maryland did it. Seemed really nice. People just hanging out, being around each other for the first time in a long time. So I'd like to do something, but now I'm worried I waited too long.
For what?
All right. Happy birthday, Jen Collins. I think it was yesterday.
Peace, Mark.
We're going to start anyhow. Well, we're up to 33. All right. The slides, Jacinta. All right. Oh, there's actually her birthday right there. Happy birthday. Hey, before I get started with the slides, a couple things. I hate to sound like a broken record, but I need the weekend numbers before 12. We are required to report those numbers to New Jersey by noon. And I get you guys sending me numbers at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday, in the evening on Monday. It does me no good then. So please, just on Mondays, put on your calendar to send Mark or Carol the numbers for the that we need. So please do that. If I forget, the sales power hour, which comes at the end of my slides, which you never really go over, today's slides are all about how to get into Cole Realty and how to use Cole Realty to create lists. I believe 90% of you still don't know how to do that. And the amount of information you can pull from Cole Realty resources to give you lead gen is unbelievable. And by the way, most companies charge you $30, $40 a month for that. It's free through Weichert. So you might want to look through those slides and click. By the way, Jacinta knows how to do Cole Realty as well if you need help. So keep that in mind. The other thing I wanted to mention before we get to the slides is, look, so it's crazy times, as we all know. The business is like off the charts and craziness, and mortgage companies can't keep up and title companies can't keep up. Try to remember that for us, and I know it's hard sometimes, our job is to follow the contract and remain calm. We are absolutely going to find every day somebody whose deal can't close because the lender isn't done, or a title or insurance, whatever it is. Your job is just stay focused, try to keep everybody calm. Because, different people react different ways. You get people in all kinds of panic and they start yelling and screaming. Your job is not to be that person. Your job is to say, look, this is the market we're in, whichever side you're on. If it's not your problem, it's the other side's problem. Gina, mute yourself. Lost my track. Anyhow, you got to try to stay focused. 99% of these deals will close, okay? And whether it's a day late, 2 days late, 3 days late, they will close because for the most part, the reality is everybody wants it to work. So unless somebody is looking for an out really at this stage, which nobody usually is when it comes time for settlement, no matter how high the frustration gets is, at the end of the day, they all want it to close. Again, if you represent a buyer and you're delayed, you try to do everything you can to get extensions. But even if they don't, if a seller doesn't want to give it, the chance of them declaring default, you'll be in default if you don't settle, but the chance of them declaring the contract dead is very, very, very small. Unless they believe there's something going on there and you're not going to be able to settle. Anyhow, I just wanted to mention that is pretty much in my world every day, somebody's calling saying, what should I do? They're threatening to, this and that. Calm. Got to stay calm. You got to be the calming force with the clients. All right. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay, slides. Happy birthday, Jen. I see she was on. Next. Before I forget, before you go, I just want to. I know last week we didn't have a meeting because of the election day, but somebody's anniversary went past. I don't know if he's on or not, but you just can't let this kind of anniversaries pass. George Candelori's just had his 46th anniversary with us. 46. Some of you weren't even born then. So I don't know if George is on, but if he is, congratulations, George. Just want to make a note. It was in the slides last week, but it's such a big anniversary. I thought I mentioned it. All right. Open houses, we're still going pretty strong, a little slower this last weekend. You guys are killing me by not sharing with me that you're doing an open house. We've always done this like a family, help each other. I have now 4 or 5 new agents that are dying just to watch. They're not trying to do the open house for you. And if you don't give me the heads up that you're doing one, I can't send somebody there just to watch you for a half hour or so. I mean, so please let me know what's going on with your open houses going into the weekend, Thursday, Friday. And again, if you have a vacant house and you don't want to do it, please let us know. We have agents who want to do them. All right, next slide. As I said, business, as I've been writing about, do not sit back and pretend this is the same as normal holiday seasons. We started off November even stronger than October. We've, just crushed our goals every month. These are the months where we usually are down to 30, 32 transactions. Last month was 53. The first week of November, we took in 14 contracts. Again, just stay out in front of it and keep plugging away, because all good things come to an end. And eventually the market will shift, to what more normal or a little slower, whatever you want to call it. But I would take full advantage of it now and do not sit back and say it's the holiday season and, take it easy. So the numbers are great. And we just keep moving in that direction. I just to give you a heads up, we are in the COVID year compared to last year. We're up 23% in listings. With all the shortage of inventory and all the stuff, we're up 23%. And speaking of short of inventory, right now in this office, there's 46 active listings. We are not doing enough, I believe, to match people looking for things with the agents who have them. I mean, Carol keeps updating the board, but the problem is nobody comes into the, very few come in the office. So we should do everything we can to share with each other by an email blast to your fellow agents in the office. But we're sitting with 46 active listings in a market where everybody says there's no listings out there. So keep that in mind. Next slide. We'll put these out. The absorption rate, just the numbers are just, there's nothing, they're going so fast. Next slide. Listen, I don't mix politics and religion with business, but I saw this on Google that one of the number one searches on election night was, where's the nearest liquor store near me? I just thought that was so funny. So I just decided to put the slide up. It's not for discussion, but I would make this point. And again, not really for discussion. And I am not somebody who would try to keep people's beliefs and thoughts to themselves. But, like other businesses and other things, we're in the sales business. And no matter who you like, who you voted for, who you love, who you hate, try to remember 50% of the country likes the other guy. And I'm seeing posting going on. And again, look, it's your personal choice, but I'd be very careful what I post. I know emotions run high, but there's a good chance what you're saying, somebody whose future business believes the other way. So again, do what you want. I just happen to see these postings and thinking, if I'm in a sales business, I may not be posting those things. All right, next slide. So this is interesting to me. I don't know how many of you are following this Redfin lawsuit that's about to happen. It's a complicated issue, and I can't go into it all now, but their biggest problem is their model, okay? Whether that's an excuse for redlining or racism or I don't know. But their biggest problem is their model, because based on their business model, if they try to send their agents by the hour or what they're paying to a neighborhood where the sales price is $80,000, okay, and they have to give 1.5% back based on their deal, there is no money to be made. So what they did was they redlined, they ignored those neighborhoods. They totally blocked out those neighborhoods, and they refused to do business in them. That is what this lawsuit's about, and it's a big problem for them. It's just a very interesting thing. You built this model, and the model doesn't support. When a house gets to below a certain price, the model doesn't support it. So what do? Do you change the model? Do you work with it? What they chose to do is ignore the neighborhoods. And of course, that's become a big problem for them. So, and if you see the CEO's answer, listen, it's not racism. We need to pay our agents a living wage. Well, maybe you shouldn't be giving back 1.5% and paying your agents, $17 an hour for running around like maniacs with buyers. Anyhow, just thought it was an interesting, and we'll follow that case. Next slide. So think about this. All that Zillow, the billions of dollars and the millions and the this and that, it took this crazy busy market for Zillow to post its first profitable quarter. Think about that. Zillow, first profitable quarter in 3 years, okay? And it took this insane busy market to do that. That's again goes back to the thing, how many billions of dollars being poured into these companies at the hope that this is going to work. Now, if you and I think about Zillow, we think it's like a monster. They're making so much money. They're not making money. 3 years, they've lost money every quarter. They finally, on $657 million in revenue, they finally made an income of 40 million. I mean, it's just absolutely mind-boggling to me, these companies. And again, you and I don't know at the end of the day how it'll all work out. But it's just, to me, it was just fascinating that to see that number, that for 3 years they can't make a penny. They keep doing and buying and trying, iBuyer, all this, losing money. And that's why they also keep adjusting the model, which keeps further and further screwing over the agent, how the leads work and everything like that. And now they're bringing on their own agents to handle their in-house sales. So, all right, next slide. He couldn't be on, but Brandon Saw, who actually is an agent in this company, and his father's a big agent out of this office. He was in Fairfax. You don't really see Tony. He does drone photography. And I couldn't blow these up to do them the justice that I thought they would, but just in case you have interest, seems pretty reasonable. He does all kinds of drone photography. And if I understand it right, for $125, he does all these pictures and you own the pictures. You can do whatever you want with them. For an additional sum, anywhere from, let me see if I wrote it correctly, $25 to $100, he will create a social media or an email ad. Go to the next slide, Jacinta. He will create ads of these for you. So you can post them on social media, you can email them, whatever you want to do. So if you, I think the slides will go by. And the first slide was his phone number. His name is Brandon. Great guy. Is a real estate agent actually, but he has a dual career. But he does this drone work. So if you, go back a slide, just said this. Some people wanted to write down the number. You see it up there, 703. Is that a 314-1956? And we'll send the slides out.
Yeah.
All right. So just something, I don't know who's using who for drones, if they're using drones, whatever they're doing, but it's just something available if you need it. So, all right, next slide. All right. So I won't take a long time. And since I'm going to do this from live, there's no slides for it. So you're not going to see slides. So when we send this out later, well, I'm going to have to send out an email for those who aren't on. If they want to see what this was, you're going to have to look at the video, not the slides, because there aren't going to be no slides following this. I'm going to go right to the thing. Listen, we talk about this till we're blue in the face every year, how important planning is. And I don't know what percentage of you don't do it. I don't get it. And I know for years, a lot of people thought the white grid planning, look, if you have a better plan, I have no problem seeing it. I sent you out a simple plan a few weeks ago. Yeah, got back nothing from anybody on that. I'm going to show you this one real quick. It takes like literally 15 minutes to do, and it produces a bunch of things for you. So I don't know what your downside to doing it would be. I would love to see, I get notified when you do one. I'd love to see a bunch of you do these. At least you have something. So let me try to do this and hopefully not screw this up. So let me share the screen and see if I can make this work. Okay. Share. So you can get to this one of two ways. If you're still a white grid one person, this is the white grid one thing. And you go down here to, how do I scroll down on this?
Use your mouse.
There it is, there it is. Yeah. You scroll down to university and you can click business plan or enter the university. You can get to the same place from My Wycard. If you go to My Wycard and you go to My Tools, which is all those boxes, a picking of all the different things you can do. One of them is the university. If you go in there, you get to the same screen. So if you're this person or that person, which one, My Wycard or Wycard one? Okay, so the first thing you have here, and I'm going to try, I won't spend a lot of time on each of these because it'll take too long. I am more than happy to do this one-on-one with anybody. I'm more than happy to do it in a small group with anybody as you look at your numbers. So, you know, whatever it takes, but you should be doing these. So it gives you a couple of useful tools. Sources of income document, okay? I mean, again, it's just fill in the blank, and you should know these numbers. Is that gonna open? Oh, here, yeah. This is an editable, you know, Excel sheet, and you see the columns here on the left. You would go in, you know, you try to know where your business came from last year. And if you're not tracking that, that's a problem. But you know, how many came from prospecting calls? How many came from open houses? And eventually we'll create a pie shape thing for you, telling you where you're getting your business from. It is important to know where your business is coming from. I can't tell you how many agents I speak to, and I did 9 deals last year. I said, where'd they come from? Well, this and that. You got to know it. The only way you can move forward and plan other things and know where to capitalize is knowing what your history is. Okay, so this is very easy, very simple. All right, let me try not to screw this up. Where do I have to click to go out of this? Just
There's a red button at the top that says stop share.
no, I don't want to stop sharing. I want to go back to where I was.
Oh, then just, it's like using your computer usually.
That X right there, you think it'll do it?
Yeah.
Good choice. Okay, expense calculator. Again, before you got to know what you're spending. Now, again, some of you are newer agents, so again, if you meet with me and we talk about it, but I know people are always looking for things. I need a plan that shows me that it's simple. This is editable. Just fill into it. It comes out 2 ways here. Your personal, okay, because for a lot, listen, for most of us, our personal lives mix in with our business lives. So overall, you need to know your expenses that you need to make in real estate. The fact that your mortgage is your personal life doesn't change the fact that you have to earn a certain amount of income in your business life to pay it. So it's good to have both these things filled out. You know, some of the things you might not know yet, but a lot of these things you know, you should fill them in. And, you know, it's something to give you, you know, one of the things they teach people when they're trying to get their expenses under control, people charge. They tell you to start writing down every day everything you're buying. Then people are shocked. Oh my God, I can't really believe how much that all adds up. You know, $10 for coffee, $6 for lunch. Same thing with this. You got to know. Okay, so this tool is here. Okay, now the plan. The plan is just click the buttons. Okay, but it's they keep improving it. Now this one, because I was fooling around with it, it's going to have information in it already. So, let me go back. By the way, this is the final thing. When the plan's all done, okay, and you'll see where mine was I was just filling in desired income, $300,000, potential income, transactions needed, listings needed. Okay, but it starts here. Okay, with these questions, 24 questions. Just answer them honestly. Okay, obviously I filled them in to be the best case scenario, but you're fooling yourself if you click on one and you're not doing any of that. If you click on an honest answer, at least when you get to the end, you'll know why you can't make the income you want to make, or you'll know what additionally you have to go back and change. You know, so, you know, these basic things about your goals performance, you have a plan. You know, is it a written annual objectives, written annual and monthly, written annual, monthly, daily plan, including social media plan, okay? So as you fill these in, eventually, you know, accumulate and come up with what your business is going to look like. You know, are you working the referral associate network? Okay. So based on my answer, it tells you what it says here based on your answer. If you put down no referral associate, it's going to tell you, you know, you're missing a big opportunity. I don't want to take too long, but you know, we have lists and lists and lists of agents that are in the referral company. Okay. Since I got back here, I put 4 or 5 agents in the referral company. One moved to Texas, one doesn't want to do it. We have agents who prospect those lists. You make a relationship with 2 or 3 people who are once agents or now in the referral company. That's, you know, what's the difference? They give you 1 or 2 deals a year, these people. It's again, another 1 or 2 deals a year for the 10 or 12 you're looking for. So it goes on with these questions. There's certain places you see down here, you can click on this link, takes you to that. So it takes you to links on what to do with certain things. Click, you see here, click here for tips. I mean, for those who don't have any plan, This is fantastic. Okay. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. 20 minutes of your life, and I'll do it with you if you want. Okay. This is talking about your sphere of influence. You know, how many do you have, what you're doing with them, things like that. And again, read these things and you'll know. Let me just click through these. Your contact management, you know, do not use one. You know, click that and see what it tells you. You know, contacts are kept in a number of databases. Okay, calendar system plus contact management. You know, it's leading you towards what you should be doing. But answer them honestly, and then you can adjust accordingly based on what it's telling you. How many hours you work a week? Listen, for most of us that are successful in this business, you know, dual career aside, it's never been a 40-hour work week. It's just never been. I mean, what we do, answering phone calls at night, on weekends, doing open houses, it's always been, and I'm gonna tell you something. You'll get successful agents working 60 hours a week, and get non-successful agents working 60 hours a week. So it's also important is what you're doing in those 60 hours, not just the 60 hours. But it's hard to be very successful working 30 hours a week in this business. Dual career aside, and we have some very successful dual career agents. But even them, the dual career agents that are successful, they put aside that they have a 40-hour a week job. They put in another 35, 40 hours on this job. Okay, so, and that's the only way dual career can be really successful. Sales meetings, the importance of attending sales meetings and talk to your fellow agents. Investment in your personal brand, like, you know, the branding, you know, it's important. I mean, we went to the agent-centric stuff a couple of years ago already, when people like Long and Foster took everybody's pictures off the signs. We believe it's important. It's all about not only the Weicker brand, your brand, and what you do throughout everything you do. You know, your social media, your signage. I'm still shocked to know how many agents don't have their own personalized signs. It's amazing to me. All right. And same thing here. If you click on Weicker Tools, it'll take you right to where to do the branding. Not to mention, Jacinta will do all the branding with you. So again, Weicker University, I've told many of you many times, you could spend the next 2 years at the university going through all kinds of webinars, live webinars, training. There's so many things you could do there. And of course, you could click on this to get to that as well. You have to invest time and some money in your business. It's just not a business. You can sit back and say, let me see when the deals are going to come. Inventory knowledge. It's important if you want to be successful and you want to do business in real estate, an expert. People are looking at you for your expertise. Remember, we determined quite a long time ago already, they do not need you to find out if there's a house for sale or where to find a house for sale. There has to be something more to what you offer and what you do. And one of them would be this, your expertise. What you know about an area, what you know about the inventory, what you know about the price trending, what you know about the absorption rate, you know, and it's sad that I could probably call quite a few of you and ask you, what's the absorption rate in this area? What's the, you know, and you would have no idea, you know. So it's very important that you become knowledgeable and expert in what you're, you know, many of you I speak to, and, you know, I read a ton of these articles, and I know sometimes I speak to some of you about them, and some, yeah, I didn't want to pay for Inman. Really? You don't want to pay the whatever, I don't know what it is, $30 a year. I don't even know what it is. It's a business. It's your business. You got to invest some money in your business and be aware of what's going on out there, you know? All right.
Mark, I believe our NVAR dues cover an Inman membership for free.
Oh, so Nicole believes that Inman is covered for free with your dues even. So how you do not get it sent to you each day? I mean, you don't have to read every article, but there's interesting articles there all the time that affect our business, affect our, you know, what we do. Yeah. Call sessions. I won't spend too much time on that, but listen, it's just many people who have generated a lot of business doing these calls, whether it's before the pandemic, there was always call sessions anyhow, supposedly in offices. And we know, you know, statistically very few agents like calling. And I would just tell you again, one of the biggest ways to guarantee your success is calling, because it's a repeatable formula. And if you need that explained, just reach out to me, meet with me, and I can explain all that to you too. Listen, I've talked many times and there's things to click on. There's almost these things, every one of them has something to click to learn more how to do it. I talked for years. Geographical farming is still one of the best ways to build your business. Similar to Sphere, it's not maybe an immediate impact all the time, but geographical farming done correctly is very successful. I've told the story many times that how many years ago? 15, 20 years ago, I was already making more than $300,000 a year geographical farming. And I've talked to many of you how I did it, what I did to stand out. Just many people got away from it believing due to technology. It works and it works very well if you do it correctly and consistently. And again, we have a million ways to do that. Jacinta, we'll go to Whitecoat Tools, go to Design Center. We have a million ways. But again, that has to be done correctly. Do not just do that haphazardly and after 2 months, oh, that was a waste of money. If you want to talk about it, come see me about how to do it. Follow-up program, the goal program, all the things. Again, you might have your own thing. I mean, I know a lot of you use American Lifestyle, but one of the biggest problems in real estate is the lack of follow-up. And you gotta have something in place to make sure you're touching your client base. Sits on twice a week basis. Come here, so there's compensation. Oh, this is okay. Opportunity time. Listen, I'm not gonna knock my head against the wall, but I can give you one. Oh, Leslie, you're on the call. Yeah, Leslie is on the call. Leslie, if you could just take a second and tell me what we discussed the other day, that floor call you just got, and that you already, whatever that was.
Yeah, sure. So my main point was most of your time on floor duty is you're picking up the phone and nobody's there, or you're being secretary, but once in a while you get a call. And I'm actually under contract now. Somebody called on a house. We went out and looked at 4 houses. She offered on house number 4, just had the home inspection. And, you know, $585,000, and it didn't cost me a penny. There's no split with Weichert Lead Network. I didn't pay Zillow a fortune a month to get it. And I just really want to advocate for, you've got to get your computer work done anyway. Do your computer work sitting in the office, answering the phone, and you might get that call. Other people have gotten listings from it, even better. But that was my success story for all this time on floor duty.
Yeah, I would just add to that. So, and Leslie Rodriguez is not a newer agent or an agent who's doing 2 deals a year.
No.
She does a considerable amount of business, but yet finds it useful to sit there. Look, there's many on this call that you know will do 1 deal or 2 deals this year. I don't get it. What's the difference if you sit on floor 250 days reading your book, doing some other work, and you pick up another deal or 2? I get it. You know, sales are always a numbers game, getting through the nose. But I don't know how you're sitting home instead of sitting here where there's a possible chance to do it. I don't know if Gina's still on the call, but 90% of, I believe, Gina's business comes from her sitting on that thing all the time, whether it's rentals, whether it's the couple sales she's done this year. It's coming from there because not only does she answer the phone, she immediately embraces it, you know, not just like, you know, so again, I would just encourage you if you're struggling and look, some of you got your days planned, you're busy. I get it. But 33% of our roster still has no transactions. And unless you just didn't plan on ever doing business, I don't know why you would be sitting here instead of sitting there. And again, nothing says you have to sit right there. You could be in the conference room. You could be practicing on the computer. You could be reading a book. You could be doing a lot of things. But it's mind-boggling to me that that more people do not take that opportunity on there. So, and that was just in the last couple of weeks with Leslie. Thanks, Leslie. We're almost done with these. Prospects of new business, FSBOs and expired. Again, this is all about prospecting, whether you're emailing, doing a campaign through my Weichert, whether you're, whatever it is, you got to be doing something. FSBOs and expired, it's still big business. Expired, you got to be a little more careful than back in my day. Well, expired, true expired, you can. I'm sorry. Withdrawing, you got to be a little more careful because they still could be under contract, listing contract.
Mark,
yep.
Can I just add one thing that I forgot to mention? It sounded really easy. It took several months. The key in this case with that call was it was somebody who was not looking for now. She knew she had credit issues. She was looking for January, but got her with, in this case, Fred, and he got it all taken care of. It took a little while, but thanks to Weichert Financial, she was ready to go sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So plug for them. Thank you.
Leslie's good on follow-up. You gotta follow up. Just because it's not buying today, doesn't mean they're not buying in 5 months, 6 months. I mean, what does it hurt you to put something in a database and follow up? You have to have some systems in place. We've spent millions putting our system in place. Some choose to use it, some don't. I hear good stories all the time. I don't know if Dave is on, Dave and Debbie. I think I spoke to them the other night. They were driving back. They wanted to, a woman asked them, it's a little more complicated, but the short version is this woman who reached out to them through either one of their texting campaigns or something through my Weichert, just said, I identified a house, I want to write a contract on it. Became a little more complicated because it turns out they had a buyer agent agreement they didn't get out of. But that's besides the point. My point is, they would have never found Dave and Debbie if they didn't do that. And the people who are using every avenue they can think of to generate are the ones that will end up with their, whatever it is, their 9, 10, 12, 15, 18 deals. You have to do something. You cannot just sit there and hope it's going to drop in your lap. It's not. All right. Open houses. I won't stop because we're falling behind. But, you know, listen, open houses, I can give you one story after another story after another story. If your business is where it is, should be, and you're not doing 26 to 30 open houses a year, I don't get it. I don't know if Fran Slade's on this call. Many of you are successful, but I remember my first time around here in Alexandria, how impressed I was with Fran Slade. Fran Slade built her whole business off open houses. That was it. 40, 50 open houses a year. She knew how to follow up. She knew how to ask the right questions at an open house, open-ended questions, and she built a 6-figure income from open houses. So it works. You just got to be willing to do it. This just goes on to talk about knowing what, you know, our buyer consultation. If you don't know how to do a buyer consultation and ask the right questions, you know, whether you're at an open house, what you learn in a buyer consultation, how to do it, are things you also then draw out when you're in situations. What you ask a certain buyer, the open-ended questions to get the answers you're looking for, to keep them going. This is also found in Weichert Tools, listing presentation. I talked and talked. For those of you who are not using customized listing presentation, I don't get it. Jacinta's available to show you how to customize them. It just makes no sense to me in a market where you need to stand out, not to use this. And again, available to meet with anybody, talk with anybody about these things. All under one roof. I don't want to take a lot of time, but for anybody who could now say 2-3 years ago, when we were up there selling the under one roof and everybody mumbled the same stuff, you know, Weichert trying to make money. If you can't openly admit that this was such unbelievable foresight by Jim Weichert, knowing the future is keeping everything tight and inside. Listen, he's gonna make money, yes. I mean, it is unbelievable what happened in the past 3 years. Every gigantic company are trying to buy third-party companies. Everybody now tries to capture the client that way. It became more important than ever for this to succeed. And for those, I mean, look, I could stop and ask people to give a commentary, and I get a half a dozen easily would tell you that the deal was held together, well, like Leslie just said, by Rich or Fred. The deal was held together by MBH. The deal, I mean, it has become more important than ever than you can. I mean, listen, every single day I'm dealing with an agent saying, I don't know what to do. The lender is not even responding, okay? We're in the middle of one now that, you know, I'm talking to the agent and I said, well, what is the, they're not even picking up the phone anymore. They don't want to have to answer to us. You know, your client's about to go in default, the lender won't pick up the phone. It is so important for your client to successfully have a good transaction, start to finish, feeling good about it, knowing it was handled correctly. It's more important than ever. So, and we're fortunate that we have, you know, two of the best in forget the company, in the whole mortgage business. Weichert.com, I won't stop about that now, but just again, the team became much smaller because of the conversion rate. The proof's in the pudding. Once we, Olivia East, who took over charge of that, even though on the office level, I'm still kind of, and we limited who can get them to people who are willing to do what has to be done. The conversion went from one of the worst in the company when I came back. It was at 1.1 to one of the highest in the company. It's at 8.5 as of yesterday. So clearly there is something to that idea. In other words, we spend years of every agent saying, "Oh, the leads are crap. The leads are crap. I don't care." Yeah, listen. That's why the conversion rate is looking for is 5%, not 90%. We know that. It's like any other sales. It's a numbers game. But when you took the people who understood it and followed up, okay, the conversion rate went from 1 point something to 8 point something. Okay, and a few of those people on the call, you know, Alex and Nicole and Leslie, and and a shout out to Nicole. The slide's not on here, but she led the whole capital region in October in Weichert.com conversion and dollar volume. So congratulations to Nicole. But you know, she looked at it as something like, look, I'm looking for things to build my business. That's a good one. I know I have to give up a certain amount of money, but I'm trying to build my business. The other business I'll get down the road will pay off the money I'm giving up now. Okay. So, and if you have thoughts about being on it, we can have a discussion on it. But, you know, unfortunately, because of the world we live in with leads, not just Weichert, but how they've been sucked up by everybody, insurance companies, mortgage companies, the lead database is so much smaller. That's why it's more important than ever that we have the correct people doing them. Because years ago, an office like Alexander would get 1,200 leads in a year. You know, so it was plenty to waste. Now we're looking at, you know, maybe, and by the way, the higher the conversion rate that this office does, the more money Jim will put into driving business to this zip code. It's very, very expensive in this zip code. So a scrubbed lead ends up being like $100. So when you're converting at 1%, trust me, he's cutting the budget of what's being spent here. When you're converting at 8.5%, he's increasing the budget. So there'll be more leads. But we're dealing in the hundreds now, 300, 350, not 1,000. So we got to be very careful who we put on the team and that they're determined to do this and follow up and follow up and follow up. I know Alex, the one he just did for him was $1 million. That was a rental. That was a Weichert lead in their rental that he took care of, and then followed up for 6 months, 9 months, a year. Nicole too, rental, followed up, became a buyer. Anyhow, rambling on. 21, okay. Weichert sales tools. Again, if you go in and click on the Weichert tools, all the different things that are available to make you successful, the presentations, the flyers, the pricing tool. I mean, there's just so much that nobody scratches the surface on. All right. Internet marketing strategy. We've talked many times. If you don't have a plan about social media and some internet marketing and branding yourself out there and doing certain things, you're going to start to fall behind. I remember I told you, for those with their databases thinking, I don't have to worry, my database is always going to call me. There was some research done by some of the larger companies that says that 50% of every agent's database that they're counting on them using them is using somebody else because of what they have out there, and you don't. You know, so keep that in mind. Where am I at here? Signage. I won't get. Listen, if you don't want to spend money, have your personalized signs. I don't know what to say. Public relations. Listen, it's good. Involvement in community. All these things to get yourself out there. I mean, I know a bunch of agents that do things. You know, off the top of my head, I know Christine does her summer movie theater in the park. I know we do things as an office. I just plenty of people. I know their pie giveaway, all the 9/11 thing. I don't want. There's many people on here who do many things. It's important. Not only is it important because it's good for the community and we should be doing it. It does come back in business as well. So it's very important to put things out there about yourself, about what you're doing, what's going on. You don't want to keep yourself the best kept secret in the real estate industry. All right, how do I get out of this now? So I'm going to set, so these aren't slides. So this is a video. Jacinta will edit the video. I know we used to keep the videos too long with all the BS talk at the beginning. We'll edit it so it starts where it starts. So if you want to go back, I will meet with anybody by Zoom or in person and do this with them if they want. If not, I'm asking you, please take 20 minutes and do this. And then you'll see, oh, let me show you. How do I get out of here? Hold on. Where is at the end of it, whoops, it is going to produce this for you, okay? It's going to produce this plan, something you have in front of you based on the answers you answered and the things you filled out. It's going to produce this plan that tells you how many listings you need for your goal, how many sales you need to reach your goal, how many hours you have. Look at all the things it tells you, okay? Neighborhood stuff. I mean, it's a pretty good business plan, okay? I don't know any reason that you wouldn't do it. If you have something better you're doing, that's fine. I'd like to see it. But if not, I don't know why you wouldn't do it. So that's the business plan story. Jacinta, go. Oh, it's for me to go out of this. Hold on.
Mhm.
How do I get back to the screen?
Just go to stop share up the top where it.
Yeah, I know how to open it to a full screen again. Oh, stop share. Stop share.
Mhm.
I stopped share already. All I see is a small screen. Oh, wait a minute. How do I get to the large screen?
Hang on.
See a small screen. Doesn't make a difference, I guess. Show group. I did stop. There is no. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Technology, technologically challenged. Don't laugh, Nicole. There's 20 somethings at the old people. All right. What else? Slides. Jacinta, when you get back to your desk, put the slides up.
Okay.
We'll finish it real fast. Rich and Fred will go fast. Then we have the coming soons and we're done. I apologize for taking so long. I appreciate everybody being on, but it's it's important that we start thinking about 2021 and get going. All right. Business planning. Next slide. Rich and Fred.
Next slide. So I guess I've been saying for months, I guess the big thing that's going to change rates is going to be the uncertainty of the election, but really the thing that's going to make rates move and stock markets really move is a vaccine or a therapeutic. And that's what happened yesterday, and the stock market went up 1,500 points. Interest rates, luckily, only went up about 1/8%. Quarter. So 30-year rates still 2.99%. VA did not move. VA FHA still 2.25%. But the Fed is intervening for the foreseeable future. Is the only reason interest rates didn't move up more. Because even when there is a vaccine, it's going to be 6 months before everybody, or longer, before everybody's back to work and things like that. So the job market. So the Fed basically has come in and said, we're going to still on last Thursday, we're going to be buying mortgage-backed securities and keep rates artificially low till however long is needed. And that's why rates didn't increase more, which is good for us. Everybody in our
now got emails from a half dozen agents who couldn't get into the meeting. So
next slide.
Good. I didn't see till I got off my slides. Diane sent me one. What's the name sent me one. We got to either keep that open or we got to create.
Next slide, please. There we go. So yeah, so like I said, interest rates are still record lows, still below 3% for conventional, 15 years, still around 2.5%. And like I said, VA and FHA, 2.25%. We still locked somebody in yesterday. So it's still amazing rates. Next slide. With those rates, when you're talking to clients, renters as opposed to buyers, a 3% interest rate, a 30-year fixed, $300,000. The principal and interest portion would be a little under $1,300. You add in taxes and insurance, mortgage insurance, you're $1,700 to $2,000. So can you rent a place for $1,700 to $2,000? Probably not. But you can buy a place with as little as VA 0 down, FHA 3.5, conventional 3% down programs, and your payment's going to be below $2,000, cheaper than rent. So it is amazing still with rates the way they are, and they're going to stay that way for the foreseeable future. Next slide. Next slide, please. So in terms of credit issues, like Leslie was saying, we helped somebody, one of her clients last week. So basically with everything going on, credit scores, you can still get loans and everything, but pricing is credit score dependent. So if your credit score is 660, it may cost 0.25% more in rate or points. And in the Leslie's client's case, it would have been $9,000 in points or 0.5% in rate. just moving the score from 660 to 720, a few actions, save that person, $9,000. So it was big, and it was done in a month. So it is a big deal in terms of credit. So we can still get them approved for loans, but moving the score, that's why talking to people in the beginning, moving the score up from 680 to 700, it's every 20 points, 700 to 720, even that little bit saves a lot of money for the client. Next slide. And that being said, today at noon, Michaela is doing a webinar just about COVID-19 and credit, and then also, ways to help your credit. Her presentations are really good. So if you have time, get on there, noon today. Next slide. I sent that out last week, so everybody should have that. Or Mark sent it out yesterday, the link in an email. He forwarded it to everybody. If anybody doesn't have it, they can email me and I'll forward them the link to the webinar. In terms of the question of the week, home sellers nationwide continue to hit high points despite economic distress caused by COVID-19. The company's quarterly U.S. home sales report said that the typical third quarter home sale in the U.S. generated a gain of, so basically when a person sold their home, how much gain did they have? And it's at record highs. So any guesses? 36,000, 122,000, 45,000, or 85,000? Any guesses? 45. The answer is actually D. So the average gain for somebody selling their home was $85,000. So up almost 30% from a year ago. So, I mean, those are huge numbers, in terms of getting somebody to buy, building equity and things like that. Any questions for me at all? Okay, well, thank you.
All right, thanks, Fred. Coming soon. Oh, listen, before I get to that, I didn't realize that while I was talking, a few, I don't know how many agents didn't get into the meeting because after about 5-10 minutes after starts, I think Jacinta, we stopped looking about, who's waiting to get in. We assumed everybody's in. We're going to have to, you only have one or two choices. The host has to let you in. And then, of course, we have to remember to keep looking every few minutes who wants to get in. Or we create a password. I'm going to try to create a password that doesn't change. I'll make it easy, like Weichert. And it's the same every week. This way you can get in whenever you want. You don't have to wait for the host to let you in. But I'm kind of bummed out that a bunch of people didn't get on this meeting with the thing now. All right, I'll correct that. We'll work on that. All right.
Mark?
Yes.
Hey, Mark, it's Jen. Just to add to that, and I know we've been getting a lot of emails about upcoming events, which is great. Can we, I don't know if we can really differentiate the sales meeting links with the other links that we're getting, because I was actually jumped on late because I inadvertently used the link for the Zoominar that Fred just mentioned, rather than the sales meeting link for today. So if we can in the subject line write like in big bold cap letters, just to differentiate, because we're getting a lot of Zoom invites right now. At least I am. And, for my own fault, I didn't read it.
Yeah, no, we'll try to make it stand out more. I know the subject line usually says virtual sales meeting. The one Jacinta says virtual sales meeting.
Okay.
And then I just keep sending it over and over to make sure people remember. I send it in the morning, I send it at night. But yeah, we'll try to bold it or something. Yeah, I get it. I do the same thing with, I'm on a million Zoom calls. The same thing. I find myself sitting there sometimes and like 5 minutes into it, no one's on. Then I realize, I must have clicked the wrong thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, it's my own fault, but just as a suggestion.
I understand. All right. Next slide. Is Susan or Fred on? Nope. Susan and Fred. So what do I got? New listing, Cunningham Drive, Alexandria. Is that a Westonton community near Mount Vernon? Baxter Woods, sort of acre, 3,000 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, man cave with 15 grand in equipment that conveys, views from all windows, must see, goes live today. Price to be determined. So they're not on, so we don't know the price. You can reach out to Susan and Fred. Next slide. Is Mary or Michael on? Nope. Renovated condo at the
Hold
plaza.
on,
Oh,
I'm
go ahead,
on,
Mary.
I don't know. I don't know that I need to say anything. It's all there.
Oh, well, you want to talk about it, describe it, anything?
Well, it's vacant, so it'll be easy to show, have it open on the weekend. We did a lot of upgrading to it. New hardware, hardwood floors, appliances, vanities in the bathrooms. So, and it has a fireplace and a nice view. The plaza, for anybody who was thinking about finding a condo for somebody, it's a very nice setup. It's a good building. It's very quiet. It's well run. So that's it.
Thanks, Mary. Next one. Lisa, you want, is Lisa on? No, but I saw her. Is that spelled wrong? Is it supposed to be Greenway Road? I guess, I don't know. 5-bedroom, 3-bath, Wellington community, Waynewood Schools, renovated, 2,800 square feet. There are several additions, large family room, private bedroom, perfect in-law suite or nanny suite, 2 fireplaces, great curb appeal, 789,000-ish. You can reach out to Lisa if you need more information. Next slide. Hope.
Hey, it's Jen Collins. I'm actually helping stage this property. I can speak to it a little bit since
Sure.
Lisa's not on. They're doing new paint mostly throughout, so it's pretty seamless from one room to the other. The garage is converted into like kind of an office area, plus it does have a really large family room. And it's mostly updated, and it's going to have some nice neutral paint throughout, and then we're going to stage it. So it should be nice.
Very good.
Okay.
Any questions? Anybody else? What's the next slide? Okay, go out of the slides for a minute. Remember that sales power hour, there's good stuff there every week. And this one talks about how to step-by-step do Cole Realty, which if you're looking for lead generation, again, I don't know why you went beyond that. Before we go, is there anything else I wanted to tell you? I guess if you guys have any thoughts, I mean, if we look into going to a winery just to hang out together, this season, I don't know. Other than that, tomorrow, for most of you, it doesn't make a difference. I'm going to run the Buffini group of videos that I have, and then run one of them tomorrow. On the other side, I have, like I said, 4 or 5 new agents. If anybody just feels like they want to get inspired, you can pop in and listen to the video. So I'm going to do that tomorrow for about an hour and a half.
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Oh, it's Jen again. Sorry. I inadvertently forgot to send this to Carol. It was on an email blast to everybody. We put the Clarendon model in Fairlington Arbor, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet, 3-level townhouse style condo on in coming soon. So we can't show it as the tenants are cleaning out their boxes and stuff. But it'll be $599-ish. The condo fee is under $400 a month, which is great. Includes everything but electric. It's an end unit, great updates. We'll be on hopefully by the 17th, if not beforehand. So just check out the MLS because we'll put it active as soon as we can. We're getting a little bit of stuff done after they move out some of their boxes, but just wanted to remind people that you got the email on that, but it is incoming soon now in the MLS.
By the way, does anybody else have, anybody else didn't get a slide in that want to talk about anything like that? Something they need, something they have. Hey, George, I don't know if were you on the beginning when I gave you a shout out? You're on mute, George. Anyhow, I don't know if you were on in the beginning. We just wanted to give you a congratulations on, what was it, 46 years? Your anniversary was last week. I
Yeah,
think
I'm
46
old.
years.
I'm old.
Congratulations.
Thank
I
you.
also want, I see Gloria's on. I know she doesn't like to talk, but I want to give a shout. Look, a bunch of you do an unbelievable job. I want to give a shout out to Gloria. She was working on a deal that I would have quit, I don't know, a year ago I would have stopped. I can't remember where it is, but it's nowhere near here. It's quite a drive. It's quite a unique property with a separate barn with a business. I don't go through the whole thing, but she never gave up on it. She worked that deal and worked that deal. She just successfully settled, I think it's 1.2 million, and she had the buyer and the seller. So congratulations to Gloria, who never gave up on that. I met with her at least twice on it and said, maybe it's time to just, throw in the towel, but she never did. So congrats to Gloria on that. Any other questions? Anything else I didn't go over? All right. I'm here always. Please do the business plan. It takes you 20 minutes of your life. You print it out, you have it. I'm here if you want to go over it separately, individually, Zoom, person, whatever it is. Help me with the open houses. If you're doing one, let me know, because we have these newer agents that are dying just to watch. So I would appreciate that. I think that's it. Sorry, well, it's still not too bad. 11 o'clock, got through it all. All right. Otherwise, oh, by the way, only one contract since Friday. So, turn them in if you have them, please. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.